Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Our next guest is a multi-award-winning singer-songwriter who recently released her seventh studio album, Love Absolute. Please help me welcome the incomparable Vivian Green. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for having me.
Listen, I was telling you before we started that I've been a fan since day one, and so it's great to have you on the show.
Thank
Well,
you.
let's talk about, 2020 has been a year. I mean, I don't know how it'll go down in history, but the global pandemic, social unrest, how has it been for you?
I know, and I hate to always answer that it's actually been pretty good for me.
Yeah, for some people it has been, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like I was able to be very productive and I was able to finish Love Absolute. We started it in 2019 and there's always, life is always happening. I always have to go on the road to work and
Yeah.
it usually takes me, a couple years to make an album just anyway, but this um pandemic helped to expedite that because there was nothing else I really could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
complete it. So it actually worked out pretty well. And, I'm really grateful that myself and my family, we haven't been affected by it, directly affected by it, should I say. And of course, I send my prayers out to all those who have been.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think about, we have a new president elect and our first African American female VP. What are your thoughts on that? Any reaction?
I'm just glad that I think the rhetoric that the president was constantly presenting, to the public was really dangerous, and
Yeah.
I that I just didn't think that was good, like in any way, and I was afraid for where things might go as far as tension, racial tension, if he stayed
Right.
in office. So that was, why I was elated that he lost. So I was
Yeah.
very happy about that. Um, I I I I'm I try to be sure that I'm never worshiping politicians or entertainers or anybody for
Yeah.
that matter.
Yeah.
So no candidate is perfect,
Right.
but as far as morality being on the ticket, that matters to me, and I know a lot of people don't care about that. It's like, why? As long as his policies are working for me in my life, then I don't really care about his morals. But that is something that matters to me. I think morals and values are like half of it for me,
Yeah.
so because those things drive you to make decisions.
Right.
you
Right.
know I do respect Joe Biden's struggle,
Yeah.
all the things that he's been through in his life. Like I relate to that, and so
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
think that he tries his best to be better and to get better. So that's important. As far as Kamala Harris goes, I think that it's wonderful that a woman of color is the vice president. I think for Black women, for women of color, period,
Hmm.
and for women in general, that it is way long overdue. Like we've
Yeah.
been qualified, like
Exactly.
since way before I was even thought of or born. You too.
Uh huh.
Like we've been on
Right. Right. Facts. Right.
that
Right.
way. You know what I'm saying? So it's no shock that it happened. It's like, wow, America, you took so long, but yay, I guess we can celebrate now. So, and
Yeah.
it's great that she's the person. But like I said, like women and women of color, we've been overachievers for so long.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
So it's like, no, she's not the first Black woman to have a resume like that. And it's great that she does. It's not a diss to her, but it's
Exactly.
that
Exactly. Yep.
Black women have been um, walked and walked a similar path for
Right.
years.
Yeah.
So again, I'm glad that one of them is being recognized, and that is completely amazing. So did you
Most
see my
definitely.
brand new day post on my Instagram page?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I told you I was talking to your
Yeah,
Instagram earlier today.
that was like right after they made the announcement, because I was preparing it. Preparing for it. I knew I wanted to do that, but it was like, oh, when are they going to finally make the announcement? I usually do
Exactly.
my sing-alongs on Sundays.
Yeah.
I
I
was like,
saw that.
whenever they announce it, I'll do it when say this is just a special edition of my of my
Most
sing.
definitely.
I
Most
was
definitely.
in a hotel and I had to go to sound check for this performance I was doing for Sirius XM. And I was like, if they don't announce this now before I go, and they did. So it was like a one take, and then I was out the door. So
Right.
that
Yeah. I woke up to it. I was sleeping, and people would text me. we did it. I'm like, did what?
Right.
So, but it was definitely, like you said, just good news, really good news after everything that the country's gone through, this year.
Yeah.
Look, you were born in Philly, and I mean, that just has so much musical culture, and you know, we could go on about that. How did that growing up there influence your sound and your music?
I really don't think that it did, and
Mm,
I love Philly, so that's not to say that I don't, because I do.
right.
But my influences came from my parents and what they
Yeah.
listened to. My parents were, huge music lovers.
Yeah.
That's where my love of music comes from, and that's where my talent comes from as well. So growing up, my parents loved Motown, and that's
Yeah.
Detroit.
Absolutely. Detroit. The
That's
D.
Detroit.
The D.
So that's the earliest music that I remember being played in my home. I probably knew the whole Motown, Holland Dozier, Holland catalog before I was 10 years old. I'm not even joking
Yeah.
about that. So that's where it started for me. Yeah. But moving, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Right. Yeah.
And my mom loves theater. She loved musical theater, so that's where my love for that comes from. That's why this is here.
Mm-hmm.
I have another key of life. Where this before you say anything, this is not a poster, okay? This is stretched canvas over wood. It's like
Right.
almost 5 feet high and it's 2 inches thick, okay?
Right.
But this is not a poster.
It's not a poster. It's not a poster. Let's get that straight.
I have a songs in the key of life one over there on that other wall. So yeah, like I love like everything, really. I do. My parents grew up. I mean, I grew up loving everything because my parents loved everything.
Yeah.
Um, and not to say that they didn't like Philly International, what was going on in Philly, but it definitely wasn't the focus of what was in
I got you.
but what I will say is that when I was a teenager, I was managed by Malcolm McCary and a Voice to Men and his best friend, and they
Mm-hmm.
got me my first record situation with a record
Yeah.
company, which
Yeah.
is
You were recording in their studio, Boysman Studio,
yeah,
at
and I wrote
15.
a song on their third album.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. When
yeah.
did you know?
That's
When did you
definitely
know?
because of Philly for sure.
Right. When did you know you could sing? Like when did you know? Because you've always had like this big voice. When did you know you could sing?
Well, when did I know I could sing? Like when I knew that I might be able to do it professionally, I was a teenager for sure.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I knew I could sing. I think I was always singing from 4 or 5, or my mom
Mm-hmm.
says. So, but I don't think I took it like seriously. Like you can really do this as a career until I was a teenager, maybe tween teenager year around that.
Yeah. Yeah. Then your debut album drops in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
We all know Emotional Roller Coaster. I mean, that's just a classic now, right? So how was that? Because
I don't know.
no, it is. It is. Everyone was excited when I told them they were coming on. So when that album comes out and you have the success, was it something? Because a lot of times we see, like, when we meet someone for the first time, we think it's a quick thing for them, but sometimes they've been grinding for a minute. How was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was grinding for a minute. Like I said, my first offer was when I was 16,
Mm-hmm.
for a major label. At that time, Rough House had the Fugees, Cypress Hill, so it was a pretty, big subsidiary of Columbia. But I ended up signing directly to Columbia, some years later. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was definitely a journey. I mean, I could write a book about everything that happened before
Exactly.
my record deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so it was definitely a journey that started in my teens at about 15, 16, and by the time A Love Story dropped, I was 22 or 23,
Mm-hmm.
on there.
Yeah.
A lot.
So when you see these, obviously it's changed, but it was kind of like that then. But you see a lot of music stars have come out due to reality TV, and now it's not even American Idol and The Voice. Now it's like Love and Hip Hop and things like that.
Right.
Do you see that just as a different vehicle or avenue, or do you see it as it's a little easier for them?
I definitely don't think. I mean, I don't know if I would say that's easy. I've never
Mm-hmm.
done reality TV, but
Right.
doesn't look easy to me.
Right.
I wouldn't. volunteer to subject myself to such drama. So I don't know how easy that is, but I think it's just different. It's just a new world. I don't want to, you know, think too much about it.
All right.
A lot of those people, in their defense, a lot of those people have been grinding for a while too.
As well, and that's just their medium. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that they're doing like later in their career, honestly,
Yeah.
with hopes of a resurgence of some sort maybe happening.
Right. Right.
So yeah, those people aren't just necessarily not famous or didn't do
Right.
it before that.
It's true.
So yeah, it's interesting how things have changed for sure. Whether it's a reality show or YouTube star, it's definitely a different dynamic than what it was when I was younger. I probably wouldn't have an album. And in this climate, honestly, like I probably would have never auditioned for a show like American Idol, and I don't want to be on reality TV, and
Yeah.
I hate social media. Really, I do it because I have to, and I'm already an established artist, and I have to keep in touch with my fans. But I can't imagine like having to think up, come up with things to do, hoping that I would somehow get
That will get the attention.
and get me a record deal. Like that just seems like unfathomable to me. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just different, and since I didn't come up in that time,
Right.
I'm like, I don't know if I would be an artist in this
Yeah.
day and age.
Yeah. And then the internet is just so mean, like the comments, like the blogs, and
Yeah,
I mean,
it is really, really, really mean, and social media is mean too. I really don't like it. I do it because I have to.
right.
But if there was a choice and I wouldn't suffer from it, I wouldn't have any accounts. Just as me myself as Vivian, I wouldn't have any media account. So it's just because I'm an artist, and I try to stay away from all the negative things.
You do like a lot. You do a lot of singing and music and
Yeah, I do sing. I do
promoting.
that. I
Yeah.
do sit there. I want people to get to know me.
You give your fans what they want. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like musically and things like that. I don't get personal. I'm not like in the bed with my underwear on,
Right.
not in the bathroom. I'm not doing
No.
anything.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, listen. Like I said, you recently released your 7th studio album. Can you believe it's been 7 already?
I know.
Does it feel like it?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's been 18 years, and it doesn't feel that way.
Man. Well, it's called Love Absolute again. And you collaborate with your longtime producer, Kwame Holland, who you have done a lot of work together. And you said that your styles are very different in terms of what makes you all work. Can you talk about that?
Oh yeah. We're totally different in our approach to making a song and the execution of making the song, and even like the mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
Like we're just different, like from start to finish. Well, Kwame's he's about the feeling. Like he cares about how it makes him feel, and I care about making it as perfect as it can be. And those two things can clash, because if he feels that like he loved the demo that we did last night, and and I come into the studio the next day like, okay, I'm ready to re-record this joint,
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I know I messed up, and you know what I'm saying, when I want to fix, I want to do this here, and he's like, we just talk about I love the demo. No, you don't love the demo. No.
Yeah.
Well, those are the kind of ways where where we clash. Or sometimes I may get on him about something that I maybe something I don't like that he did, and he's like, don't tell me how to do my music. I'm like, well, you try to tell me how to sing.
Right. Yeah, I've had conversations with artists, and artists that were very sensitive about our stuff.
Yeah, very, very sensitive. And so you have, he is very much an artist, in his own way.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the most talented and creative people that I've ever met. It just as far as being multifaceted, that he can do so many different kinds of things.
Yeah.
Whether it's write the song, record the song, demo the song, maybe a little bit on it, but he can totally demo what he writes. He's very creative in that way. He can draw, like he's fashion, like he's just creative, like all.
He's an artist, right? Yeah, he's an artist.
Yeah, exactly. So like all of that creativity is like something that's not me. So I respect what he has to say, and then his 30 years in the business, of course I have to respect that. So we always are able to find some common ground in our mutual respect for each other, I think. But yeah, you have like two people who have lots of individual ideas, and my ideas are very focused, or and that's not
Right. Yeah.
good or bad. I'm just trying to explain. And his ideas are like
Yeah.
all over the place.
Different ways of getting there. Different ways
this
of getting there.
and this to come together. Yeah. So if only there could be a camera in the studio, you guys would be very entertained. That's for sure.
But you said you wouldn't do. Would you?
No,
I
I
know you said
wouldn't.
you would
I
never
would,
do.
would not. I was just saying if.
No, I was asking because because I think there's a difference, kind of, in doing a reality show where they're following your life, and I know you have a son, dealing with all that, as opposed to the process of you making a project. Would you ever do something like that? I think your fans will love that.
I don't know. Perhaps, but it can be one of these situations where when we're off camera, a producer is like, "Oh yeah, remember that fight that you and Kwame got into? You trying to
Yeah,
no, because I hear that's what producers do, and
yeah.
I don't like that. So let it be real or don't let it be at all. So
No, I got you.
we
Let's
fight
talk about
we don't need a producer.
right.
Fight
Exactly.
between us.
Y'all got that. Y'all got that. Well, what are some of your favorites off the album?
So I love Where You Are, which is one of the instant grat tracks that released a couple weeks ago. I
Yeah.
love That Kind of Pain. That's one of my very favorites as well. I love Harlem Blues. I wanted to record Harlem Blues since I heard it as a little girl, and I don't know why I let 6 albums pass and didn't include it on any of those, but I guess now is the time. And I
Right.
haven't made a jazz record since my first album, so and jazz is like one of my absolute favorite genres, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's one of my favorites. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, We Are Everywhere. There's a song called We Are Everywhere that is about the diaspora of Africans as a result of the transatlantic slave trade and all of the
Mm.
places that we
Wow.
ended up. Now, a lot of times we all, I think, get stuck in our where we are in the world and the struggles in our respective countries and places that I think we often forget that this is something that affected, you know, a whole lot of people,
Yeah.
much more than what's just here in the United States.
That's true. Yeah.
40% of all the slaves from the triangle trade went to Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any connection with Brazilians? You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
do, but I'm saying, do we think about their
Well, we don't think that exactly.
you know what I'm saying? It's like you would
Yeah.
think the way we are, I think here in the States, you would think all the slaves came here.
Right. And that's true. That's fact. Different places. Different
Yeah,
places.
yeah. So it kind of
Mm-hmm.
talks about I sing about the major slave ports and then some of the places that we went to after landing in those
Mm-hmm.
ports. So yeah, it's a really fun song. It has like Afrobeat vibe to
Yeah.
it. I really love Kwame's musical composition on that song. It's just beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and I just love that song. It really hits home for me. So yeah.
Well, how did
We
you
are
tell us how the collabo with Ghostface Killer happened?
Yeah, so Ghost wanted to be on Get Right Back to My Baby, but the song, by the time he reached out to Kwam, the song kind of, ran its course pretty much. We were at
Right.
the end of the cycle. We already peaked and we were kind of like down here when he called.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh man, if you called 6 months ago, this would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So we were like, you got to get on the next one. And so when Kwam did Light Up, we got on that. Yeah, so it was really easy. I have to give Kwame credit because that's his tribe, and
Right. Right. Exactly.
any given day it'd be like, oh, LL is calling me. Hold on,
Right.
Quick Rick calling me. So
Uh-huh.
so they call him for whatever, just to say hi or whatever. So that's his tribe. So that's the connection. That was easy.
Yeah. How old is your son? Because he appears on the album as well as your sister, your son Jordan. How old is he?
He's 16 now.
16. Okay, wow. So how's it like having him work?
This
Right. How's it like having him work with mom?
is the third or fourth album that he's done.
Okay.
So I think he's pretty used to it at this point.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So finally, when they listen to that last track, the 13th track on the album, what do you want the listener, your fan, to walk away with?
Well, my albums always end in a song that's inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
And I never try to, I try to make sure it's never corny,
Yeah, right. We
Inspirational
are
songs,
the world.
you kind
Yeah.
of sell that corny kind and you don't want that.
Yeah.
So the last song is called The Walk Up,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just about like having a wonderful self-image, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
and loving yourself and knowing that you are this confident, wonderful human being, and don't let anybody tell you anything different. It's really, really fun and funky. It's up tempo.
Mm-hmm.
So I think after closing with that song, I would think someone would maybe want to hear the album again.
Right. Yeah.
That's my hope anyway.
They will. They definitely will. Well, the album is called Love Absolute. Vivian Green, so great to have you on the show, and I wish you nothing but success with this album. Seventh studio album, I can't believe that, but congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. What's the best way? I know, I mean, you're everywhere, but what's the best way that you want your fans to keep up with you?
So you guys can keep up with me directly at I am Vivian Green on social media. I do interact and respond, and you can attest to that, sir. Because
Yeah, absolutely.
I do respond, I do interact, and that's why I'm there. Really, I'm not there to be an exhibitionist. I'm not there to be a narcissist. Even I am really only there to, and no diss to that. That's how you are, but
Right, yeah.
simply connect with my fans. So if you come on my page, it is about my interaction with you guys and just sharing, musical pieces of me that you guys may not know about. Yeah. So, and it's a fun page. It's a light page.
It is. No, it is.
On there. If it is, I do block. I don't even have time for that.
Yeah.
So it's all about love on my page and positivity. So
everybody go get Love Absolute available everywhere right now. And Vivian Green, again, we thank you so much and continued success to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. We'll be right back after this.